What up? It's your boy King Down 225 coming at you with another reactionary video. So hit that like, subscribe, become part of the kingdom. And the shit just don't stop. Here I am making another video about this divisive, super Karen, just pearly things. It seems, unlike one of her defenders, TLA, I'm so disappointed in you, brother. You know you turned to, about face on Slick when you was sniggering and laughing at her on your live when she was talking about clapping back, getting revenge, using her resource and white privilege to go after black content creators who had audacity to react to her saying something stupid, despite TLA saying this is only a small, you know, fraction of YouTube community that cares about this. Don't nobody else care about this. It's complicated. Channel has something to say. I made a reactionary video to that. I'll leave a link in the description there if you don't want to go watch that. He's a big YouTuber and he happens to not be black. Okay? So just not black people have an issue with her. Now, one of the dudes that helped her climb this mountain. When she went to London, this was the initial face everybody associated with just pearly things. Sarah Garvey. In fact, to dispel this narrative also that all of the manosphere was hypnotized by this Pippi Longstocking in her regurgitated facts. You know, I, Time Stepper, 9 months ago, warned you, reacting to just pearly things, racism in America versus Europe. Ironically, this same dude, like I say, when she was in her little bedroom and how we said struggle streaming before she blew up and got a studio after grifting these black male participants who now look like a bunch of raccoons running for cover now. Now what you gonna say now? It's Sarah Garvey when she pre-blow up when she had this discussion 9 months ago. I'm gonna give you a little snippet. I'm gonna leave a link in the description, so you can go see this full video. 37 minutes long. So I had a lot to say. Well, I'm gonna leave you a little, I'm gonna show you a little snippet because I'm tired of people saying all the man fear. Y'all let her in. Nah, motherfucker. Some of us was out here telling her y'all leave this shit alone, bro. Don't do it. Don't fuck with her like that. But people ain't listening. Now we all to blame. We all getting laughed at. We all getting our reputations questioned. How stupid are you? Nah, dog, I unsubscribed to her 9 months ago. I'm gonna let y'all hear this little snippet of what I was on 9 months ago, since y'all think every man in the manosphere bought what she was selling. Nah, nigga, I'm smarter than that. Up, it's your boy King Down 225 coming at you with another reactionary video. So hit that like and subscribe, become part of the kingdom. Man, I saw this. Man, and I follow Just Pearly Things. I agree with her on a lot of issues when it comes to manospheres topics. But I've always told my community, the young men out there, be careful. Our alliance with the manosphere as a whole should be tentative at best until I hear their opinions on race. And although this video is very fucking cringy to me, this is the reason why critical race theory should be implemented and mandatory in all schools. Fuck what they talking about. We were forced to learn American history, but they always leave out the part that pertains to us. We ain't gonna really talk about that, cause usually when it pertains to us, it be some fucked up shit they done did. This is a very cringy video. First of all, they want to talk about racism in America versus Europe with a English black man and an American white lady. Oh my God, what do we expect to hear from these two?
And she started quoting Thomas Sowell.
Okay, see, that's enough. See, all of us wasn't sold. All of us don't. Despite me critiquing my sister, I got immense love for my sisters, and I would never betray y'all. So I'm riding for I am Courtney Michelle. I'm riding for Danica Marie. I'm riding for Sixth Goddess. I'm riding for all of them who riding for us, bro. And fuck them old traitors ass niggas who took them 30 pieces of silvers. You Judas the betrayers. How y'all feel? Now let's get to her ace boom coon. Now look how she done blew up now. You know. This her ace boom coon. The dude when she moved to after she paid Kevin Samuels and she jacked all his swag and maneuvers. She paid It's Complicated. She jacked his questions. She paid, allegedly. You got to put that allegedly because she on the warpath to get revenge. Okay, she paid Fresh and Fit allegedly, and she got their ideas on equipment. Now, evidently, she done started the record company and gave you fuck niggas a bunch of bullshit ass record contracts. But let's just hear what Sarah Garvey got to say. Sarah.
Tell them. If you have watched 2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed, then we have what, pal? Beef. What do we have? Beef. Exactly, so you better get doing that right now. Before we even get started, alright? If you have watched 2 or more of our videos, and you have not subscribed, tell them. Then we have what, pal? Beef. What?
It look a lot different from when she was in her little pink room, huh? Damn, she done grifted a lot of fucking money out for you niggas, bro.
We got beef. Exactly, so you better get doing that right now.
Then her defenders always talking about she worked so hard. She had the financial resource from the beginning to just buy herself to the front of the line, and you niggas bought it. Okay, you helped her, and then you got the audacity, unmitigated gall to fucking sit here and talk about how she worked harder than people who never had the resources. Like literally motherfuckers have to get it out the mud and grind it from zero. That's some old Donald Trump. My daddy gave me this amount of money to start me out with.
Now, over to you, pal. I'm making this video today that I didn't initially.
Man, that nigga came out. Black Panther, 1965 black. Look at it with the black necktie. A turtleneck and his African medallion and his bald head. He really bald head today.
Do you want to make?
The nigga side of me wonder if he's trolling and he's still working with Pearly things. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and hear him out.
But there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision. And sometimes that decision can affect you morally, it can affect you spiritually, and it can affect you financially. But it's a decision that we can't shy away from. Now, recently, Just Pearly Things has been caught up in some controversy. Why? She has interviewed avid racist and known racist Nick Fuentes. He is also an anti-Semite. What did Pearl do when she interviewed him? What she done is that she laughed with him and seems to agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owners that they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now, if she had said some of these things about the Jewish community, she would have been cancelled in a hot minute.
Facts.
Ask Kyrie Irving. Ask Kanye West. Now,
and those two people, the Black Manosphere roasted relentlessly up to a point. And this is another thing, Pearly Things, you gonna find out with your clapback tour that you preparing. You think it's bad, right? You think these black YouTubers are trolling me and picking on me just because I had a Freudian slip and said some shit I really thought and meant and felt, allegedly. And how dare they still be mad? Don't you know I gave you a half-ass apology already? Goddamn niggers. Just know this, I'm telling you. You think it's bad with us YouTubers. You don't want to get a load of Black Twitter. Because they ain't really sniffed you out yet. But this story getting bigger and bigger. Despite what TLA said. Kwame Bust Life did a video on it. Like I said, it's complicated, channel. The story's getting bigger. I advise her just to go on her little merry way and allow and stop trying to create division within my community. Just shut up and take your leak.
This isn't about the Jewish community.
It ain't.
This is about us.
Us.
Okay? And so after that interview, Pearl decided to make an apology video, which was, in my personal point of view, disingenuous and a PR stunt. And all in all, it came from a place of deception.
Guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I've been on social media for a while, and I have done interviews with the likes of Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, politicians like Lee Jasper, and also Lin May and people from the music industry like So Solid, Mega Man to be exact. Now, Pearl was reacting to my content prior to coming to the UK. And so when she came to the UK, I was very interested in the content that she would actually put out. And it just so happened that she was putting out content that I was interested in, similar to what the late great Kevin Samuels actually put out. And I understand it because I myself had been embroiled in court cases and things of that nature when it comes to the mother of my son, and understand that the gynocentric order in which we live in is something that needs to be spoken about. So when she came to London, she said that she wanted to make a podcast, and I said, no problem. Okay, let's talk about it. And I decided to feature on her show. Now, when I featured on her show, because of my following in the UK, people would tune in. So essentially, I helped Pearl grow her channel. Okay, I was on there week to week, and I was working with her based on a fee. So the tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the Manosphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by just Pearly Things along with other content creators. Now, I believe that the reason why this space was filled is because Kevin Samuels had a large following of black men. And these black men were essentially fed up with the way feminism had taken over their community, specifically their women. So when he died, there was a vacuum and a lot of black men looking for content like this, and it was filled by Pearl. And I believe that Pearl rose to fame because she herself was the opposite of what those men had been seeing. She was a white woman. She wasn't the types of women that they had been seeing, and essentially she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content. So I began working with Pearl.
Right after she paid that $1,000 hour consulting fee, she started regurgitating Kevin Samuels. It just all these pieces started for you seen them police procedurals with all the evidence and the theories up on the whiteboard. These pieces starting to fit together about the grand grift of Pippi Longstocking.
And from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset. Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid. So I kept working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to black people. And I had to school her a few times on what it was like to be black and the black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like. Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How come?
For instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations.
Yeah, that's the only group I think about when I'm talking about the old something. It's the black folk. I ain't really think about the Jewish community or the Japanese or anybody else. When I think about people being old, I'm only thinking about reparations. And fuck no, you niggas don't deserve for us to pay the bill that's due.
So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought you meant like in the past,
In the
not
past.
the present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, you know, the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
There's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And when you read that book, you realize that the whole Industrial Revolution and stuff like that was started because of the colonization. And you just think, well, if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be as successful.
So what do you mean by the colonization?
So the colonization of Africa, so both the people and the resources, right? There's a direct correlation between the colonization of Africa and the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
And so with all the
I don't know if y'all can see her face because of my angle of the camera in my box. Well, she is not interested in what he's talking about.
metals and the rubber and all this kind of stuff coming from Africa, it fueled the Industrial Revolution of the West.
Wait, so you're saying like in Africa, when you say colonize, you're saying like did England come in and colonize?
Yeah, like so European.
Wait a minute, this must be the rest of the video I reacted to, because they got the same goddamn clothes on, same struggle stream, and that I talked about when they first started when she moved to London. After she done paid all these Negroes, including you, Anton Daniels, because you still big cheating for her too, and shitting on sisters, you fuck niggas. Bro, I ain't done with you niggas yet. Let me continue this video.
France, Spain, Portugal, England.
And they like enslaved Africans, and that's what you're saying? Okay.
So they
like this bitch don't know what happened. Like, come on, bro. This shit getting ridiculous now, bro. And just Pearl thinks she's gonna bully us just because she got white privilege and resources and her daddy's book money. She thinks she just gonna bully us and shut us slowly black Negroes up just because she said something fucked up and exposed herself.
They enslaved and at least colonized the continent.
Okay.
So when you colonize a continent and then you take ownership of the resources, you're able to gather those resources together and use them to your own benefit.
Right.
And so you gather those resources, use them to your own benefit, and build up your economy, all the while messing up the economy of that actual country.
Right.
So that video was filmed in 2022. And in that video, what you saw was me attempting to tell Pearl and show Pearl what colonization was like. How people went to another group of people and took their resources and took what was theirs and built their empire off of it. So when Pearl now plays like she doesn't know what colonization is and she doesn't know what slavery is, and she says these insensitive statements, in that video I actually attempted to give her a book. It was called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I've read it myself. She semi-dismissed that book. She kind of dismissed that book. And then she went on with herself to go and interview a man like Nick Fuentes. Pearl has Africans that work for her. Now, Nigeria has many issues. Now, the disparity in Nigeria has rich and poor people living just on the breadline. And Pearl has these types of people working for her. They edit her videos. They make her.
See, before he continue, this is the shit that's really gonna trigger you, piss you off. And this is all this narrative that these defenders, these black raccoons who embarrassed and humiliated themselves and all of us black men. Now we gotta answer for this shit and be laughed at and questioned by our own sisters, divestors included, who had the audacity to fucking make this argument. Well, she works hard, she pays people, she paid me. Now you niggas starting to look like the Africans who captured Africans and sold their own people into slavery. Not only did she pay Kevin Samuels to study him and allegedly and Fresh and Fit and It's Complicated. She studied the record companies and bust out the motherfucking 360 deals to fuck over niggas. The fuck over nigga record contracts. The ones that leave the rappers broke and destitute. Now let's get to this video. It's for all them these black manosphere, these raccoonish Negroes out here defending this woman who said this trifling ass shit about our community. Slavery wasn't that bad, it's kind of embellished. I got this off of one black guy book that I agree with. I don't want to hear shit about what Sarah Garvey talking about how, Africa was underdeveloped intentionally. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear dissenting ideas or views from what I think, in my opinion, in my little. Let's continue the video so now you can hear the real disgusting part.
Thumbnails.
So, look what I have here. This is evidence to show how hard
Fucking
my
raccoons.
Americans work.
No, hold on. You forgot, yeah? This is how hard my white Americans work.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They're very hard workers.
Yes.
I like how they work. My white Americans really work hard. You see that?
They inspire us to work hard.
No. Do you know what? They don't even inspire. They're working hard for themselves, bro.
Oh, okay.
They're putting in a lot of work, yeah? They put in a lot of work. My white Americans
This ain't it, bro.
work hard.
This ain't
Yeah,
it.
you could.
So Pearl has taken people on from Africa, which on the surface looks like a good thing. And I guess it is. Africans are being fed, they're taking money from her, they are feeding their family. Amazing. However, with a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic that colonizers use, which was the divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work. And she also used the term, my Africans.
Willie Lynch letter. That's what I'm gonna say to the African Americans, the FBAs. That's what he's talking about. Willie Lynch. How they pit Africans and African Americans against each other. Okay, my Africans work harder than African Americans. Clearly, we gonna get defensive and get upset. The Africans ain't say that. She said it.
Much of what Pearl says is determined by her management, which she has said to me on many occasions that she shares with Candace Owens. So when you have a colonial mindset and you have a management who tell you what to say, what generally happens, in my personal point of view, and what I actually saw, was that she began to start paying people pittance. She began to start offering contracts to people that owned them, just like a colonial master would. Case in point, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation about me signing to her contractually. And I want to make this very clear. I have never signed to the Just Pearly Things network. I have always been an independent. Pearl has known that, and I have known that. And so anytime I worked with Pearl, we had agreed a fee, and I worked for that fee. I have never been signed to the Just Pearly Things contracts. However, she has signed a few Africans, namely King Riches and Auntie Jenny. Now, I have no problem.
The two main black people under her umbrella who she feeds, who still defending her. I was gonna call her Aunt Jemima, but I'm not gonna disrespect my sister or that brother for this white lady. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be one of them dudes. I just hope they wake up and realize that it might be time to jump ship. Let's continue.
Problem with a King Riches or an Auntie Jenny. However, if we look at the contracts that they signed, you would understand the reason why I use the term colonization and colonial. Now, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation, and she expressed to me that she wanted to do a new segment for her show. In that segment, she said that she would like me to present a topical news show on a day-to-day basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we talking about? And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time? She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5
That's a job, bro.
days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job. I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is the salary? And she looks at me and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries. So I said, so if you don't do guarantees and you don't do salaries, what is it that you actually do? And she said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no, 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey. And that's when I started scratching my head. And I said, hang on a minute.
Hang on.
So are you telling me that's a high-end contract for you?
What?
She said, yes. And I said, so are you saying that Just Pearly Things Network has other people on low-end contracts? She said, yes. I said, King Riches and Auntie Jenny? She said, yes. I said, what's the low end? She said, it's 10 to 15%. So it's sent.
Do y'all hear that? That's what I'm talking about. How she done studied the record company. This motherfucker's got y'all signed to rapper contracts, pre-Master P and No Limit, and Cash Money. Well, they actually got 85% from the record company. Y'all goddamn signed rapper 360 deals, bro. And y'all like, oh, well, that ain't that bad. She put them out. These people got their own channel, Aunt Jenny. So you telling me Aunt Jenny getting 15% of her own channel? Yeah, well, she signed it. She signed it. 3-year contract. Like, she may not hit you with that other shit that the record companies do, something called recouping. Then your ass really ain't gonna see no paycheck. Next thing you know, you're gonna be like them old rappers, like, oh, nigga, jack me all my money. We don't hear that. We won't hear that shit from y'all King Riches and Aunt Jenny. Like, I know y'all gonna come show y'all their bank statements and shit, but it's just gonna show us how much money she making off of y'all asses. Like, literally, you get a camera and a laptop and a space in your home and get 100% of your shit. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna have to grind it out the mud because you ain't gonna have like Just Pearly Thing brand on your shit where you get instant followers because of her controversy, but you get all your goddamn money. But let's continue. Thought that was bad. Wait till you get to the SEX parties.
Essentially, she could be owning 80% of the content, which is basically the monetized views on somebody's channel. and they only take home 15% of the money? She said yes. I said, Pearl, how long are these contracts for? She said 3 years. So I said, let me get this straight. You want to own me for 3 years to take 70% of my ad revenue, keep me in your studio from 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening for 4 to 5 days a week, and you are not guaranteeing me any money? I said respectfully, for what reason would I?
Oh, she wants y'all niggas in the studio all day and all night while she on vacation in Italy because she need to de-stress from all these attacks from these Negroes. She's so undeserving. I need to take a vacate in the middle of the shitstorm that she created while these black people under her umbrella got to sit here and deal with it. And these Judases who took these 30 pieces of silver got to watch their goddamn reputation crumble under our very eyes. Deservedly so, though. Let's continue.
Work for your company? She said, because we have a great studio and we have great lighting and we have great editors that will edit your stuff down. Now, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot.
It ain't worth it.
I may be cool, I may be calm, I may be collected, but I'm not a fool. And essentially, the colonial mindset of Pearl has people working on her quote-unquote plant.
Then the weird thing is, I was going to create a apparatus where when I get on, I'm going to help create other YouTube and content creators, and they're going to sign a contract with me. You know what I'm saying? But the contract was going to be for, I get 10%, and they were going to get 90%. You feel me? How weird is it that somebody will offer you a contract where they make 70%? You do all the work. I just got the lights and shit. Baby, I can rent that. Okay? I just got the lights and this, and you give me 70%. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. And y'all was rocking with this user.
For absolute pittance, when a year ago, I suggested to her to look into exactly what colonization was, and she acted dumb.
Guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, you know, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, you know, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I grew up in a time where there were brilliant R&B girl groups like TLC, and also brilliant R&B artists like Toni Braxton. They both sold millions and millions and millions of records, but they ended up broke. Why? Contracts.
Rapper contracts.
They were signed to contracts that did not favor them. And essentially, what Pearl is trying to do is come back in with the same contracts and do the exact same thing to the manosphere.
Yeah, she is. She gonna hit y'all with that recoup. Man, if I don't know recoup is when it comes to record contracts is the record company. This is the weirdest shit I ever heard in my life. This is like a job making you pay for everything. Okay? The record company say, oh, okay, well, the marketing, we're going to market you, we're going to promote you, we're going to send you on tour, we're going to feed you, but everything we spend on marketing and promotion and what we spend on tour, we got to recoup that. So before we cut your check, what we spent on promoting you, we going to take it out of your portion and keep our portion. That's what we call recoup deals. Oh, you bought that. Like, oh man, she gonna hit y'all with the coop. So I advise y'all bring y'all lunch from home.
And do the exact same thing to the Red Pill community. Why? Because Kevin Samuels left a gap. And Kevin Samuels' fan base was predominantly black men. And Pearl has come in there and attempted to be top of the food chain. I will not be a part of this game, and I will not be a part of this colony. I have always been an independent.
Straight up.
If people in the UK who can actually say and watch all of my content can say that I've been around before Pearl even arrived in the UK, what would I look like signing my life away, essentially, 70% of all I own, to this woman who just arrived in the UK the other day? She said to me that she's actually looking to sign more talent this year. Good for her. Good for the talent. But I hope they watch this video. And I hope they realize exactly what they will be signing. And I actually hope that this video makes her think about the ways. Because essentially, I had been with her from the beginning. And I had helped grow her channel. And if she could suggest this to me, somebody who helped her grow her channel, then you are nothing to her.
Nothing.
I have only given you around 30% of what I know. We haven't even touched on the very odd and weird parties that Pearl likes to invite people to. And I was invited to one last year, and she told me that her manager was coming from America and they were going to have a party. And very interestingly, they said that it was going to be board games. And I said, okay, cool. I don't mind playing Monopoly. I don't mind playing Snakes and Ladders. When I got there and I asked her about the board game, she said, no, a board game. There was a whiteboard in the living room. And what she proposed was that we all have a time on the whiteboard and we do what she says, and we talk about certain things which were quite sexual, and we put them on the whiteboard. But you know what I saw? I always saw her manager Kobe in the corner filming everything. And we've all spoken amongst ourselves, and we've spoken about Hollywood and the things that go down. And within that party, what I saw was if people were on that board doing very sexual things and doing things while they were drunk, that stuff was being recorded. But we'll speak about it another time.
She getting thick out here for Miss Jess Pearl thing. Shout out Sarah Garvey for being a stand-up guy and showing unity in the community. That's what we need. We don't need no raccoonish ass dudes out here telling us how we should feel and what she would. How she should forgive her. Nah. We ain't. She forgot about it. We just don't want to fuck with her no more. Stop putting it in front of our face. We don't want to hear from her. She talk. She have a right. But listen. She over with over here on this side of town. We don't fuck with that no more. We don't fuck with her. And she went to took a little vacation, to give her time to do her little clap back because she was so mad at MTR, a dude she barely knew. I met her. Y'all at best acquaintances, associates, and you so butthurt because he cut your ass loose for his community. I wonder how she gonna feel about some dude, Sarah Garvey, who she would work with on a regular basis, exposing her colonizer mindset. Is this it? Or is more to come? Wait till the next episode of Super Karen Just Pearly Things and her divisive agenda. Hit that like, subscribe, allegedly, and become part of the kingdom.